Alien 3. This much maligned 1992 film is a legendary example of studio mismanagement and interference. Despite making over $159 million worldwide on an estimated $50 million budget, many consider this film to be a dud, which is a real shame as the 2003 reconstruction of director David Fincher's work print of the movie did a lot to redeem this otherwise fairly mediocre science fiction flick. But we're not here to talk about the movie, we're here to talk about this, the 1992 Master System game tie-in. I had this as a kid before I saw the film. I'd seen Aliens and loved it, and eventually got to see the first and third films together as part of a double bill when Alien 3 was first broadcast on TV here in the UK. Even back then, I knew video games based on movies and TVs rarely had much in common with their source material. So let's pop this bad boy in and see what we have here, and I'll try not to let my nostalgia taint this review too much. The game's title screen is much more in keeping with the previous films than the actual Alien 3 opening. When we start this game up, we get this lovely little intro animation before being launched straight into the game. As for the controls, well, there's not a lot to say. All the usual D-pad controls. Button 1 fires your weapon, and button 2 is jump. However, if you press down on button 2, you can cycle through the available weapons. Up and 2 activates the motion tracker, or radar as the manual calls it. Each stage is timed, and not very generously given how stiff Ripley controls, and how slowly you maneuver around the levels. Aliens move fast, some hide in walls, and there are also eggs which, contain facehuggers. None of the enemies are much of a threat if you keep an eye out for them as you go through the levels. On the subject of levels, there are 15 in total, spread out across 6 level types. The cells, the slaughterhouse, medical, back to the slaughterhouse, the meeting hall, the alien hive, and the leadworks. Your goal is to rescue the convicts that have been cocooned throughout each level in order to unlock the exit. At the end of each environmental block, you face off against a giant boss alien the game manual describes as the Alien Mother, which, despite its impressive size, is rather easy to kill off with the heavy weapons or by just learning the movement cycle, like any of these old game bosses. Overall impressions. As a kid, I never got past the second level's punishing timer, and as an adult nearly 30 years later, it's the stiff, laggy controls and punishing timer. I got stuck on level 6 and resorted to a long play to get footage for the rest of this game. As far as a licensed game goes from back in the day, it's not bad, but it's not great either. Play it on emulation for the experience, but unless you have a Master System and can pick up a physical copy for less than a $5, I really can't recommend it that highly. Just go pick up a copy of the movie with the work print edition included, sit back with some popcorn and enjoy this movie as it was originally intended to be seen.